Hello and welcome back to another video of RPG Maker with me, Squishalski. So, where are we at? We have just been re-questioning Linda, Emily's mother. So, she didn't like our form of questioning. Yeah, well, you know, shit goes down. So anyway, before we carry on, let's take a look at our to-do list. So, we still need to investigate the broken window and the headless statue. Still need to speak with Emily's friends, so I'm going to go back to the other houses. Interview Paul Richards. Not quite sure where he's at. I need to locate Eddie Blake. Interview Carol Mitchell and speak with Eric Cornell. So Eric Cornell will open up the Fox Tower apartments. Now I know that there are some of these people are in those apartments, but I'm going to try and knock on all the other doors and re-question people and that so far. So there I am with Linda. So now also been told that obviously Eddie generally hangs out at the mall. Now I have played this game before, so I know that there is a way into the mall. And there are some clues in there. So let me just see if... Okay, so obviously I can't get in there yet, so I think I have to wait until the last part, so that's fine. I will do that at the end. So I need to go back and see if I can talk to some others. But I want to go into the apartments last, because if I remember correctly, once I've finished in the apartments, that's when we're at towards the end of the game. So just go back and just try and knock out someone's car. Never saw that before. So they're bibbing at me. That's fine. I don't mind. They can bib at me all they like. We have a murder to solve. So I'm just going to go down and knock on these doors again and speak to some more people. Yes. No one answers. Okay, so no one answers on that door. Aha! A man in his late 40s with a rugged, no-nonsense demeanour, broad shoulders and stocky build answers the door. Oh Christ, you're the federal detective, aren't you? State Police, Detective Squishalski. You're Sarah's father, Mr. Foster? That's right, Brad Foster, what do you want? I'd like to speak with your daughter. I understand she and Emily were close. His eyebrow raises, eyeing you for a moment, then sighs, giving a slow nod, gesturing with a jerk of his head towards the door, a hint of reluctance in his movements. Right, come on. Nancy, this detective Squishalski wants to speak with Sarah. Oh my, a federal agent. State Police, ma'am, homicide, looking into a few things. There's no reason to be concerned, I just need to know what Sarah might know. Her room's downstairs. Okay. She glances at you nervously, offering a weak, unsure smile, struggling to maintain eye contact as she speaks. Sarah's downstairs, detective. She fidgets, uncertain of the whole situation. Okay. A small vase of flowers sits atop the bureau, sitting next to a stack of dusty books. A large folded comforter is thrown carelessly on the floor, its fabric creased and rumpled, as if it's been left there for days, maybe longer. A few books on gardening and home decor on top of a small cabinet. Reminds me, what is up here? A wine cabinet is neatly stocked with a variety of wines, some unopened and collecting dust. The kind of thing a person buys for a special occasion that never seems to come. The shelves hold a haphazard collection of random magazines with titles like Better Homes and Gardens, House Beautiful, and Martha Stewart Living. Okay. A cushion sits abandoned on the floor, looking like it was once a cosy spot for someone to sit, but now only forgotten and neglected. Stacks of cardboard boxes lie in the corner, their labels faded and curling. The small table hosts a potted plant that looks as if someone's forgot to water it for a little too long. Sarah, my name is Squishalski. I'm a detective with the state police and would like to speak to you about your friend Emily. Can you open the door? I don't know anything, Kate. Just go away. Brad intervenes somewhat aggressively. She's grieving. Do you really need to drag her through this? Sarah's mother gently places a hand on her husband's arm. Brad, please, he needs to do his job. I just want to understand what happened. The more I know, the better chance I have of finding who did this. Fine, but I'm not opening the door. Ask about. Sarah, I need to address the rumours going around about Emily and drugs. Some people claim you and Emily were using together. Her tone hardens, bristling with irritation. That's a lie. We went to parties, yeah, but we didn't do drugs. Who's saying that? Sophie? I bet it's her. Tread carefully, detective. Sophie did mention it, yes. Why would she lie about something like that? Sarah's Candace rises in frustration. Because Sophie's been jealous of Emily for years. She used to be part of our group, but she got clingy and weird. Emily pulled away, and Sophie's been holding a grudge ever since. She's just trying to make her look bad. Brad chuckles, throwing up his hand. Oh, great. Now it's teenage soap opera hour. Got any popcorn, detective? This is gold. Ask about. I also heard that Emily was spending time with Jacob Turner. What can you tell me about him? There's a short lull before Sarah responds, her words careful, almost protective. Jacob's a good guy. He's been through a lot, okay? Emily liked him, and so do I. He's not what people think. Some people might think he's a man 10 years older, hanging out with teenagers is questionable. You didn't find that strange? No, it wasn't like that. We went to the city sometimes, sure, but we weren't doing anything bad. Jacob was just different. He clicked with us. Brad's laugh is loud and theatrical. Oh yeah, the 30-year-old man who gets teenagers. Sounds like a totally normal friendship. Real wholesome guy, I'm sure. Ask about. Sorry, I know this is hard, but I need to talk to you about Emily. I know you were close, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't important. Her voice trembles behind the door, laced with anger and grief. Close? She was my best friend. You think I don't already feel horrible enough without you digging around making it worse? Her father butts in, gesturing animatedly. Yeah, 'cause that's what grief needs. An interrogation. Real helpful, detective. Called. Got any tips for my taxes whilst you're here? Nancy touches his arm lightly, her voice soft. Brad, let her speak. She might know something important. Sarah, I'm not trying to upset you, but did Emily seem different recently? Maybe stressed or worried about something she didn't share with anyone else? There's a long pause before she speaks, her voice quieter. She was stressed, but it wasn't anything she caused. It was her mum. Emily couldn't stand being home. That's why she'd come here or go to her Aunt Carol's. Ask about. Did Emily ever talk to you about Paul? I heard they had a complicated history and he wasn't exactly polite when it ended. Sarah's voice grows defensive. Paul was a jerk. He couldn't handle the fact that Emily moved on. He'd call her names like she was asking for attention, sure. She enjoyed it, but Emily didn't care about him anymore. She just brushed him off. Brad lets out a sarcastic laugh. Complicated? Oh sure, I bet Paul couldn't figure out how to tie his shoes, let alone complicate something. He waves dismissively. Move on, detective. Oh, this guy's annoying. What about Pastor Peters? Did Emily ever mention him acting unusual around her? Hesitation creeps into Sarah's voice. Pastor Ron? Not really. I mean, he was always kind of a creep, you know. Sarah. But she never said anything specific. I think he helped her, and she liked going, but maybe she felt uncomfortable sometimes. Brad crosses his arms, smirking. Uncomfortable? You mean like this conversation? Seems like a pattern with you, detective. I also heard Emily had trouble with Tommy Harris. Did she say anything about him to you? Sarah's voice drops, sounding uncertain. She hated him. She was like mean, like really mean. I don't know if he ever hurt her, though. She wouldn't talk about it. Brad snorts loudly, shaking his head. Tommy Harris, scary? That guy's more likely to lose a fight with his wrench than hurt a girl like Emily. Jesus Christ, you think to yourself, will this guy shut the fuck up? And Linda, did Emily talk to you about her mother or their relationship? There's a bitter edge in Sarah's voice now. Her mum was awful, always drinking. Like I said, Emily couldn't stand it. Nancy speaks softly, her hands wriggling nervously. Poor thing, she always seemed so sad when she came over. Sarah's voice fades behind the door, each answer quieter than the last. You sense her grief and defensiveness colliding, leaving her emotionally drained. Brad throws his arms up dramatically. Well, congratulations, detective. You've officially harassed a grieving teenager. What next? Going to interrogate her stuffed animals? Nancy hesitates, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Please, detective. She's been through so much. I don't think she can take it much more of this. He glanced at the door one more time. Sarah, thank you for your time. If you think of anything else, I hope you'll let me know. Brad mutters something about wasting time as you approach him. Nancy quickly side-eyeing him, slightly embarrassed by his combative nature. You pretend not to notice the interaction, informing them that you're ready to leave. Brad sees you to the door. God. He's annoying, isn't he? Okay, so let's go see if there's anything else or anyone else here. Oh, he's not in here. Okay, no one is in here. Oh, was he in the chair? Oh, I don't know. Let's have another look. Let's have another look. He might be in the chair. As you step into the office, Pastor Ron looks up from his desk, his face etched with resignation. Let me guess. More questions about Emily. Go on, detective. I know you're not here to join the congregation. You question Paul Richards about my broken window yet, detective? We're handling it. Hopefully we can pull some prints from the rock. You decided to bring up Ron's shoes. Would mind if I ask your shoe size? My shoe size? What kind of question is that? Humour me. Size and type. Any Timberland Premium 6-inch waterproof boots in your closet? His lips press into a thin line, hands clasping together as though holding back a wave of anger. Timberlands? What in God's name would I need those for? I'm a size 10, and no, I don't own a pair of those boots. Never have. Now, are you seriously trying to imply I'm sort of suspect? Me, a pastor? Unbelievable. His voice rises sharply, but he quickly reins it in, eyes narrowing as if measuring your intention. This is what it's come to, huh? You dragged my name through the mud because I, helped guide this town? I'm just covering all bases, Pastor. No need to take it personally. Funny how I'm the one being asked about shoe size when real criminals are out there walking free. You done yet? Without breaking eye contact, you make a brief note at the soft scratch of the pen, filling the silence. I've heard something troubling, Pastor. It's about your relationship with Emily going back to when she was 15. He points a finger towards you, his knuckles white as he leans slightly forward in accusation, whatever. What? That's outrageous. Who told you that? Linda Johnson, I bet. That woman has been out to ruin my reputation for years. You jot down a quick note, glancing up occasionally to gauge the reaction behind his words. So you're saying there's no truth to it? Of course there's no truth to it. That's the devil's work right there. Lies, manipulation. Linda's always had a problem with me, ever since I tried to hold her accountable for her backsliding ways. Drinking, gambling, men coming and going like it's a revolving door. She hated that I saw through her facade, hated that I wouldn't let her drag Emily down with her. A deep sigh escapes him, and he shakes his head in disbelief, muttering something under his breath. Still, it's a serious accusation. Can you explain why someone might suggest... I don't owe you an explanation. I cared about Emily. She was a lost lamb in need of guidance, and I did everything I could to keep her on the right path. But Linda, she twisted everything. She's the real sinner here, detective, not me. And if you believe her over me, well, I don't know what that says about your judgment. For someone innocent, you sure sound defensive. The pastor's shoulders slump, and for a moment he looks more exasperated than furious, though his tone remains cutting. Excuse me? Defensive? Wouldn't you be defensive if someone came at you with baseless accusations? My conscience is clear, detective. You can take that to the Lord if you want confirmation. We'll see if your story holds up, Pastor, for your sake. I hope it does. Pastor Ron leans forward, his voice lowered and simmering with anger. My story? You don't need a story when you've done nothing wrong. Maybe you should focus on finding the real killer instead of playing games with me. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so still got to do the broken window and the headless statue. So okay, so I can't go back into those. Okay, so I'm going to go into the police station, see if there's anything more about the broken window and that. At least try and get the tasks all signed off. Find officers Ben Vining, Laura Wallace, and an unknown officer deep in conversation. Vining leaning casually in the receptionist's chair whilst Wallace smirks, arms crossed. The visiting officer, a tall, wiry man with greying hair, listens with a bemused expression. So let me get this straight. She ordered salad at Pete's Steakhouse on a first date. That should have been your first clue, Vining. What was I supposed to do? Say, sorry, ma'am, no rabbits allowed? Besides, she was... He glances up as you enter, straightening his posture. Oh, detective, I didn't see you there. You must be the state detective everyone's talking about. Jeff Rook, Mechanics Falls PD. Figured I'd drop by, see if you need any extra boots on the ground with, well, you know. Officer Wallace nods towards Rook. Jeff's just here to stir up trouble. The murder's got the whole county on edge, and he's hoping for an excuse to snoop around. Can't help it if I'm curious. Murder like this doesn't happen around here often. How's it going on your end? You find anything new yet, or is it still a mess of question with no answers? There's no shortage of work to be done, and the clock's ticking, but I'm on it. Thanks for your concern, officer, but I'll be alright on my own. Seriously, salad? You know, detective, I wasn't sure about you at first, city cop coming into our quiet little town, but you've got a good eye. I'm starting to see why they sent you here. She folds her arms, her tone sincere. If anyone can crack this case, it's you. Just don't let the rest of us look bad while you're at it. Gotta love this charm of a small town law enforcement. Everyone knows everyone, and no one ever locks their doors. He pauses, his expression growing more serious. But this case, it's got teeth. You let me know if there's any grunt work you need done. I'm your man, detective. Noted. Okay, so what's Vine got to say? Don't creep up on me, kid. If you want to chat, move around the front. We ran some background checks, detective, and there weren't any surprises. Tommy's history is what we already knew. Disorderly conduct, some domestic calls. He once spent a week in county for beating up a guy over a parking spot. Nothing earth-shattering. Linda only had a DUI from 85. Clear since then. Paul Richards and Jacob Turner. Nothing on either of them. Same with D. Blake. I looked at Pastor Ron too, since I figured you'd ask. Not even a parking ticket. Seriously, the guy might be the only person in Buckfield who actually uses the crosswalks. You learned a clue, sort of. Noted. Thanks, officer. You got it, kid. Okay. So, let's have a look at the clues. It's a broken church window. Emily's body. Make earring, safe combination. Right. Overdue bills. Background checks. Officer finding out. Okay, testimonials. Okay. Let's just have a look. Just trying to see if there's suspects. Harris, mother struggling, sort of her rocky relationship, recent troubles and shadows of the past. Tommy Harris. Now he's a size 10, and so is he. Local pastor. No doubt about his true character. Paul Richards, Eddie Blake. Okay. Right, let me go talk to this dude up here. The chief is seated at his desk, surrounded by a stack of reports and a half-empty coffee mug. Detective, I hope you're making progress, because the longer this drags on, the more people in this town are going to turn on each other and on us. He sets down some papers in his hand and rubs the bridge of his nose. Excuse me. Small towns don't have the stomach for uncertainty, and right now we're believing it. Just thought you'd like to know the kind of pressure we're under. Chief, did Jacob Turner speak to you about his alibi? He did. Said he was home Thursday night and didn't leave until Friday morning. Do you buy it? I don't see him as a killer. Quiet type, sure, but this feels like a bit of a reach. Jacob's alibi might hold water, but something about his proximity to Emily and his demeanour nag at the edges of reason. Sceptical or not, the chief's gut isn't enough to put this to rest. Okay, cool. Alright. There's not anything else for him to say there. Oh, done it again. Oh. Okay, right. So, let's have another look at the to-do list. So, right. So, find him in the old mall. Right, so I can speak to him. She's in the tower. And Paul Richards, I think he's in the tower as well. Right. I'm going to go into the damsel and see if there's anyone in there. Because you never know, there might be. Dun dun dun. Okay, who's this guy over here? You're the detective, huh? The man looks at you lazily while nursing a drink. Tough guy, guess it's true. Nothing bad ever happens in Buckfield until it does. He's takes a sip of his drink. Better order something, though. The chow is the real deal. Okay, so who is this dude? Take a seat at the bar? Yes. Well, it'll be, detective. Let's go for that. Jim Beam on the rocks, thanks. A little afternoon whiskier. Solid choice. So you see the new Batman movie? Batman Forever. That's cool, but it might surprise you. The effects and action sequences are pretty epic. Worth a shot if you ask me. Maybe I'll give it a chance. You decide to write off any future film suggestions that Jim might make. And also ponder for a moment the last movie you saw in theatre, Braveheart. Now, that wouldn't have been a film worth bringing up. No, that wouldn't have been a film worth bringing up for discussion. But not now, not with Jim. Good chat, Jim. Catch you later. Back to it. Okay. So let's see if there's anyone else. So there's this girl here. Oh my gosh, hi detective. She twirls a strand of hair in her finger, tilting her head to the side. So, like, you want a table or what? I'm good, thanks, Jenny. Right, is there anyone else? No, okay. Let's go see if Clive's... Okay, I'm going to go back to the medical room. See if Clive's in there. Is he still in here? I think he is actually. Yep, he's still in here. Right, okay. So I'm going to go to the motel, knock on the doors. And then go to the thingamajigs. So I think I've basically got everything that I can. Just see if there's number 2. Try knocking. Yes. No. Just in case. And this one's out, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, right. Okay. So let's talk to this guy. Mr. Cornell. Oh, hey. How's it going, detective? I need access to the Fox Tower apartments. Can you help with that? Right, I forgot to ask. Do you have a warrant? Not yet. I just want to interview some folks. Right, you mentioned that last night. He exhales with a clear concern. Fine, you want to go there now? Yes. You raise your chin in an eager agreement. Okay, let's get going. It's goddamn rain. Come on, the door is here. Okay, so I'm now in... Wow, it feels so much more spacious inside. You might call it the TARDIS effect, he says with a chuckle. Optical continuity, vertical emphasis on all these design techniques can lead to a distortion of your perceived spatial... I can't say that word. Anyway, I've got to get back to the motel. Hold on to the key. You can come and go as you please. Thanks, Mr. Cornell. I've got apartments starting at only $300 per month, you know. I'm good, but thanks. Okay. So I'm going to go all the way to the top and start at the top and then work my way down. Okay. So I'm going to start at the far right. Just check through everything. Okay, so let's go here. Knock on the door. Yes. The door opens and you find Olivia standing framed in the doorway, a soft smile playing at the corner of her lips. She's dressed casually but with an air of purpose, the kind that always seems to hint at more. Well, look who's back. I was hoping you'd take me up on my invitation. She steps aside slightly, leaving the door ajar, allowing you a glimpse of her apartment beyond. I'm here for the case, not the invitation. Her lips curl into a knowing smile. Eyes never leaves yours. She crosses her arms, leaning against the door frame. Of course, the case, but there's no harm in a little distraction while you're here, is there? I was just getting ready to take a bath after all. Your expression stays neutral, though there's a subtle hint of unease in your posture. I'm here for the case. Her smile widens, clearly amused. She steps back to let you in, her eyes lingering on you as she motions you to enter. Let's just see if there's any kind of clues around. I'm going to look for clues in that first, just because. Let's just see what's in here. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Well, look at that. Looks like you're really making yourself at home. Guess size really does matter, huh? Nice. Wasn't expecting him to take a shit, I have to say. So, detective, you think I can help you untangle the case, or did you need an excuse to see me? You ignore her overt flirtation. Paul Richards, Tommy Harris, Jacob Turner, you know these people she was connected to, right? I mean, they live here. I want to get some answers. Answers? Always so serious, aren't you? Fine, let's play detective. Then ask away and I'll see if I can't be your reliable little witness. Ask about? Paul Richards and Emily, they were dating for a while. Anything seemed off between them. She straightens her posture, suddenly more purposeful, her eyes tracing your every move. Paul, I don't know, he's a kid. I guess he wasn't what Emily thought he was. Thought she could fix him. She stepped closer, her lips curling into a seductive half smile, her voice softer, more intimate. You, though, you're the kind of man who doesn't need fixing. I think you'd be dangerous in the right hands. Her voice remains neutral, though the air between you and Oliver feels thick. So, nothing seemed off. They were close, though, right? Her voice drops lower, a teasing tone now. Oh, they were close in that desperate way. Typical teenage love story. She wanted him to be something he wasn't, you know? Something he wasn't. But you, I think you know exactly who you are, and I'd love to know more about that. Maybe we could skip the formalities? She angles her head, her eyes fixed on you, almost daring you to respond. Ahem, yeah. Ask about Jacob Turner. What about Jacob Turner? He's your neighbour too, right? Emily and him spend time together? She chuckles softly, her eyes twinkling with amusement. Jacob, the quiet librarian who doesn't know how to have a conversation unless it's about books, he never struck me as someone Emily would keep around for long. She leans forward, her voice lowering to a whisper. On the other hand, I've been watching you, and you've got that intensity. I bet there's a lot going on in that sharp mind of yours. I'd love to sketch it out, or get to know it better. You do your best to retain control. Oh, not close between them? She sighs, stepping closer, her hair's breadth away now. The space between you almost too small. I don't know about them, detective. Too easy to ignore. As for you, you make yourself impossible to ignore, and I like that. You're the kind of man who makes me think, maybe I could change my plans for the evening. The awkward tension building is making it harder, quite literally, than you expected. About Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris, did he and Emily ever get along? I know he and her mother were involved. Olivia takes a quick breath, clearly unimpressed, her eyes hardening as she crosses her arms. Tommy, a walking disaster. He and Emily didn't see eye to eye. She wasn't stupid enough to get tangled up in his and Linda's nonsense. Her tone changes as she looks at you, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. But you've got that lightning in a bottle energy. I'd kill to capture it on canvas, or off it. You give a smile, disbelieving smirk, trying to keep things focused. So was there tension between Tommy and Emily? She speaks in a measured cadence, her demeanour heavy with intent. Tension? Let's talk about your tension. Detective, I can help you unwind. Tell me, detective, do you like surprises? She holds her focus on you, the silence stretching as if demanding your next move. Surprises? Well, art can be very therapeutic, you know. You let out a quick cough. Art, right, art. Ask about Ron Peters. What about Pastor Ron Peters? Did he ever behave inappropriately towards Emily? She pauses, eyes briefly darting sideways as if considering the question, then looks back at you, an amused smile creeping onto her lips. Pastor Ron, inappropriate with Emily? Oh, come on, the man's too squeaky clean. Emily probably showed up to church for the same reason most people do, out of habit. He's too safe for someone like her. She continues eyeing you like a piece of art. But you, detective, you've got an edge. Something tells me you wouldn't know how to play it safe if you tried. Right, so he didn't pose a danger to her. Her eyes wander to your lips as she steps even closer, her breath almost on your skin. Pastor Ron, no, she giggles, but maybe I could show you how dangerous things can get. As much as you try to maintain your composure, the bulge in your pants grows more noticeable, no matter how much you try to adjust. I see I'm not the only one feeling a little worked up. Oh, look at the time, Ms. Baker. You say, glancing at your watch, betraying a mix of relief and awkwardness. Thanks for your help. Oliver chuckles, the longing and frustration it masks obvious as she watches you retreat. Leaving already? Such a shame. I was hoping you'd stay longer, you know, really get to know me. Her voice dips, almost pleading. Don't be a stranger, detective. I'll be waiting, always. What a waste of time you consider. You've gained nothing from this, in a manner of speaking. Oliver might know more than she lets on, but getting anything useful out of her is like pulling teeth, if those teeth were coated in innuendo. You can't afford to waste any more time on her. There are real leads to chase. Cool, right. Knock on the door. Yes. Fools and deaf ears. Knock on the door. this. From inside you hear the muffled shuffle of footsteps, followed by an eerie sudden quiet. It's as if everything inside has come to a halt, waiting for the next move. It seems that Tommy Harris is home, but deliberately ignoring you. Oh, keep hitting them wrong. Let's try this one. You knock, but no one answers. Okay, so let's go to the next floor. Start at the end. Ooh, door is open. The nameplate next to the door says Turner. It's Jacob Turner's apartment. The inside is dark and quiet. No one seems to be home, however. The door's ajar, a clear invitation, isn't it? The Fourth Amendment isn't just a suggestion. Any search without a warrant could dismantle the case entirely. What if Jacob's hiding something crucial inside? You weigh the risks. One step inside could uncover the truth. Or leave you empty-handed in court. Fuck it, let's enter. So, let's... Size 11. While the size doesn't match 10.5 Timberland 6-inch waterproof boots found at the crime scene, the two sizes are close enough to suggest a possible link. Filling your desktop computer in the corner. There's something else here. Closer realising it's a sleek line, a small secret compartment beneath you. Open the compartment. Inside the jet secret compartment you find several small baggies, a couple of pipes and a gram scale. Bingo. There are no drugs present, but Jacob's drug paraphernalia is still a major discovery, confirming, at least in part, what you learned about his character up until this point. The bastard lied to me. We'll need to confront Jacob about the drug paraphernalia, but you've got to be extra careful. Bringing it up and how you found them without a warrant could blow the whole case wide open. Avoid getting too specific. Let's read them. June 3rd. I thought I could lay low here. Feels like I'm being watched. Project's feeling this. Shadow, something about me. Buckfield, especially quite calm. I never expected it to be this. I can't shake them. I don't know what might happen or who might get hurt. June 12th. I'd be careful, but it doesn't feel like enough anymore. Emily's been so good to me. I can't get into this mess. I'm on borrowed time. So is she. People are important. They won't forget and they don't forgive. I can feel it closing in. Found a clue. You knew her better than you let on, you lying sack of shit. What kind of trouble are you in? Did you get the girl killed? You'll need to confront Jacob about what the entries mean, but you've got to be extra careful. Admitting to an unlawful search could jeopardise the entire case. Avoid getting too specific. No. Knock on the door. Yes. You knock, but no one answers. You knock on the door. You knock, but no one answers. Paul Richards, open up. We need to talk. The door swings open with a sudden jerk. A young man, perhaps no more than 21 years of age, appears, his reddened eyes and the deep lines of his face betraying a sleepless night. Damn, you all come knocking like you're trying to break it down. What's good, detective? He looks you over, chin tilted up in defence, squinting his eyes to halt any leftover tears threatening to fall. Detective Squishalski, State Police Homicide. I'm investigating the murder of Emily Johnson. You're a name that keeps coming up, Paul. You pull out your notebook, flipping it open for effect. His bravado falters for a split second. Man, you're thinking I had something to do with that. Nah, Dong. Come on. Don't even try me with that. You eye him unimpressed. He sniffles an exaggerated breath, dragging the back of his hand across his nose like a child seeking sympathy. Nice. You inviting me in, or are we going to talk out here on the stoop? Your neighbours love a good show, right? He grudgingly steps aside. Yeah, come in. Come on in then, Dong. Dang, whatever. I don't even know what that fucking word says. But don't be making no mess, alright? I just cleaned up the crib. So I can't get past. Don't get it twisted, fam. Just keeping it clean so I don't look like a damn slob. Yeah, that's my gear. Gotta stay fresh for the court. You feel me? You ain't ready for the court's trust. Okay. The sink is filled with dirty dishes and leftover food. Yo, don't mess with the sink. I ain't washing no dishes unless it's real necessary. Nice! The stove looks neglected with greasy burners and an unused oven. Kitchen's looking like a mess, but I ain't here to cook. I'm here to grind, you feel me? God. Yo, hold up, don't go messing with my stuff, fam. That's private, know what I mean? The fridge, old and demented, holds a mishmash of takeout containers. You hungry? Don't get too excited. It ain't stocked up, but trust me, when it's stocked, it's all snacks and soda, baby. Welcome to the pad. This the humble kingdom of hot spice shop hood dog. Yo, what can the hood dog do for you, Big D man? Okay, now ask about his relationship with Emily. Paul, let's talk about your relationship with Emily. You seemed to have a complicated relationship. People say you got possessive, even stalked her. What's your side of that? Jealous? No way, Don. Complicated, man. It was real tight. She was the queen. I was the knight. I was keeping it real. She knew I was down for her, you know? Jesus Christ. Paul waves his hands like he's spitting bars on a street corner. His movements loose and exaggerated. She was mine, no doubt, but hey, don't know the story. I wasn't stalking, just trying to keep her from the worry. Couldn't let her slip like the rest of them. People talk, but I was just trying to defend. But when you care, it comes off like that sometimes. You feel me? You cross your arms, starting staring flatly at Paul as he bobs his head, snapping his fingers to a rhythm only he can hear. Right, how far did it go though? You ever crossed some lines? Paul's expression suggested he doesn't quite grasp the weight of the conversation, or doesn't care to. Intense. I was just real with her, dang. Ain't no limits when you got loves for someone. But I kept it cool, kept it calm, never hit. When she dipped on me, yeah, that shit don't fit. You know how it goes when you care too much. Things get all twisted, but I ain't no psycho. If I was stalking, why would I be standing here talking to you, huh? Ain't like that. Twisted how? Were you ever physically aggressive with her? His eyes dart between your face and the floor, clearly nervous or distraught. Sometimes it was heated, but always kept it real. Never laid a hand, just made her feel the deal. For real, dang, I don't swing like that. I'm hot spice, you feel me? I'm about to act. Jesus Christ. You do this often, talking rhymes like that? Can't help it, man. It's just how I speak. It comes natural, like flowing from the creek. His confidence feels hollow, like a kid bragging about a bike he doesn't actually own. How about the letter I found in her room? The one where you told her she was gonna regret making you look like a fool, that she was gonna feel it soon. Dad, that's just me blowing off steam. I was pissed, alright? People write dumb shit when they're mad. I didn't mean it. You can't tell me you never said something you didn't mean. Just words, huh? Funny how threats like that tend to turn into action. And Emily's dead now. How do you think that looks for you? Look, Spice Shop ain't no killer, yeah? I wrote that, but it didn't mean nothing. I'm an artist, Joe. I was just gonna put that on wax, but I couldn't get to the studio, so I just wrote a letter instead. I just wanted her to listen, that's it. Paul shifts uneasy as he glances away for a moment. His bravado cracked, and you catch the faintest glimmer of something. Guilt, maybe? Regret? He quickly replaces it with a scowl. Ask about... You involved in rock through the church window? Oh, man, I ain't do no window breaking. Might be smart to come clean about it. Honestly, I don't care if you would admit to it or not. I'm not here to dig into your little vandalism stunts or your beef with Pastor Ron. I just need to know if it ties back to Emily's murder. He rubs the back of his neck, fingers trembling slightly before he jams them into his pocket. You saying I get immunity if I fess up or something? Sure, Paul. Just tell me what happened. I'm not here to slap cuffs on you for that. Man, I ain't gonna lie. People like to talk. They ain't got nothing better to do than point fingers. But, alright, look. Paul smirks and throws his shoulders into a mock swagger, rapping like he's on stage. That rock was just a little beef with Pastor Ron. He's talking mess, so I drew one and gone. Ain't no big deal. Just a little retaliation. Don't need no explanation. You know how it be. Mess with me, now you're gonna see. What was the beef about, Paul? Emily visited him, getting her hair cut? His jaw tightened so hard you half expect him to grind his teeth to dust. Hells yeah, dang. That guy a creep. Straight up. I seen something, and you all ain't gonna believe this. Try me. Couple weeks back, I slipped into church, real quiet, wanted to see what this dude really is. And guess what? Caught him in the back, pants down, jerking it to some pornos, right after Emily was there. That don't seem right, does it? You jot down a note, the scratch of your pen filling the silence between his words. He watches you carefully, almost like he's trying to read your thoughts. That's a bold claim. You sure about what you saw? Dead sure, I saw his cock out. Dude a freak, no doubt. I ain't got no proof, but my gut say he more just a perv. He dangerous, detective. What if he got violent with Emily? Maybe she caught him doing something, or knew something she wasn't supposed to. Ain't hard that connects the dots. That's a wild charge, Paul. You accusing a man of murder with nothing to back it up? Just your intuition? Yeah, intuition, call it whatever, but I know what I seen, and I know people. Ron ain't clean, man. You think he just sitting up there reading his Bible or holy like? Nah, that dude's hiding something. You need to check him out before he gets away with it. He sniffles a sharp quirk sound and then tries to cover it with a cough, straightening up like it never happened. Okay, right. I'm just going to end the questioning there. That'll do for now, Paul. Stay out of trouble and don't even think about skipping town. Yeah, detective. You all know where to find me. Ain't like I'm going anywhere. Okay, so... because he has a phone here. Call headquarters. So yeah, so I'm going to call the headquarters and save the game here. Din din din. Let's go over. Okay, so the game has been saved. So we are in the apartment. Foxtail's apartments, and we are questioning everyone. So I need to finish questioning Paul, but I also need to save the game here. So we're getting a bit more information. Actually, if we just take a quick look, so I still am interviewing Paul Richards, and I need to confront Jacob Turner and investigate some other people. Right. So I am actually going to leave it there for now, but let me know your thoughts of this game. This has been RPG Maker with, and I am Squishalski. If you do like this content, please do subscribe, comment, like, share. Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and on Kick, and I am going to leave it there for now. But again, if you like this content, please do let me know, and give me any other game suggestions as well. So anyway, without any further ado, I will say goodbye. So goodbye everyone, and stay safe, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.